So the craziest thing happened to me the other day that was literally nothing short of the universe and just like God and the divine and source. So I'm gonna tell you a story, and it's kind of crazy, but anyway, I've been going through like a lot of financial difficulties at the moment, and I'm kind of on a very tight budget, and I do travel quite a bit for work purposes, as well as my mental health, and I'm kind of trying to fix my finances and everything, and like I said, I'm having a lot of financial difficulties, and I went to Montana recently. I went to Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming, and I had reserved a rental car online through my JetBlue account, because if you have JetBlue and you reserve like through their like car people or whatever, their rentals, then you get like tiles, and then the tiles give you like mosaic status and all benefits and stuff. So I always do that. And the two car companies that they utilize for their program is Avis and Budget, and I usually use Budget or Avis. So my whole thing is, like, with my financial issues going on right now and everything, I don't have a credit card anymore. Like, all of my accounts have been completely closed. I maxed out about 7 credit cards with $100,000 worth of debt, credit card debt that I can't pay back. So my score is also like 450 at the moment. And like I said, all my credit cards have been maxed out. The accounts are closed, so I can't get a credit card. I don't have a credit card. I've literally been living off of my debit cards, basically like payments to payments. I run my own business, so whenever my clients pay me, like, that's all I have for like the month. I don't have anything else, and so it's always really nerve-wracking, like hoping and praying that like I have enough money in my accounts to like cover me for things. But so I had reserved the car online ahead of time, and when you do that, like, they don't like let you pay ahead of time. You have to just like reserve the car and then you pay at the counter at the airport. So I did that, and then I get to the airport counter or whatever, and I've never had any issues before, because like I used to have credit cards and I would put my stuff on my like credit cards or whatever, and now that I just have a debit card, it's a little bit more difficult. So then I get off the plane, I go to get my rental car at the Budget counter or the Avis counter, and the lady's about to hand me the keys, and it was going to be like this Jeep Cherokee. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I just choose the cheapest option and they pick the car for you. So she's about to hand me the keys, so I hand her my debit card, and it's a debit card I have with like Venmo, because I had money in that account. So, and the only other debit card I have is just like a bank account debit card. So I hand her the card, and she's swiping it and it's not working, and she's like, it keeps kicking it back. And then she like looks at the card. She's like, oh, this is a debit card. She's like, do you have a credit card? We don't accept debit cards. She's like, do you have like a major credit card? And I'm like, no. I was like, I don't even own a credit card. Like, I'm not even able to get a credit card. I don't have one. And she's like, well, I can't process the payment unless you have a credit card. And I was like, well, can you take one over the phone? Thinking like, oh, maybe I'll call my mom or something and have her give her credit card over the phone. And she was like, no, I have to swipe it. And I'm like, okay, like, what am I supposed to do then? Because now I have to drive from Montana to Idaho, where I was staying, and it's like a 2-hour drive. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do? And then she was just like, there's nothing I can do. Like, we don't accept credit cards, so I can't rent you the car. And I'm like, oh my God. And here I am about to cry in the airport. And she was like, you can go check Enterprise in Alamo. I don't know if they have cars available, but I know that they take debit cards. So I'm like, okay, let me go over there. And the Enterprise line was like really, really long. So I'm waiting on the line, and then I saw the Alamo line had like one person. So I went over to Alamo quickly to the counter, leaving my stuff online at Enterprise, just to ask the lady, like, do you guys accept debit cards, just so like I'm not wasting my time online? And she was like, yeah. She's like, as long as you have confirmation of your return flight, which I did. And she said, and then she was really, really nasty too, like really ridiculously nasty. And she then told me, she said, but we don't have any cars available, and neither does Enterprise, because we're the same company. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you don't have any cars available? So then I was like about to have a breakdown. And as I'm standing online at Enterprise, it like popped into my head, like, wait, let me go on their website quickly and see if I can reserve one online while I'm waiting online. So I go on the Enterprise website and I go to reserve the car, and they had cars available, which I was like, oh, awesome. And it turns out too, which is kind of crazy, that the Enterprise rental car was going to be over $200 cheaper than the one that I had originally rented through Avis. So the one I had reserved with Avis was going to cost me like $350. Meanwhile, on Enterprise, I reserved online that day, literally for the exact time that I was standing online, and it was only going to cost me $160. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, it's going to be cheaper, and I'm able to get one. So, and they take debit cards, so great. So then I get to the counter, and I show like the proof of my confirmation for a return flight or whatever. And the guy took my debit card, so I was like, oh, this is awesome. It was going to be $163. So then I go to get the rental car, and I go upstairs to like where you pick it up at the garage, and it was kind of busy. And I guess there was like this couple that was like waiting for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes or whatever. And this lady was like screaming. Like, she was so nasty to this poor girl who was the manager, probably around the same age as me. I'm 27. So she was like yelling at this girl, this poor girl. I had just got there, like just stood there, and I guess they were waiting for like 20 minutes for their car, and they still didn't have it. And the poor manager, like, the lady was like yelling at her, being really nasty. And I felt so bad because the manager looked like really overwhelmed, and she was like running all over the place trying to like accommodate everybody. And she ended up getting them the car, and then was like, I'll, give you a discount or whatever. And then she comes over to me, and I don't think she realized, like, I was only standing there for like 5 minutes. So like I wasn't inconvenienced at all. And she was like, I'm so sorry for the wait. Like, she's like, it's just been so crazy. I don't know what's going on. She's like, I really apologize for this. Like, it's never like this. She's like, you know what I'll do for you? Like, I'll take off another $63, like, and you'll just pay a flat $100. Like, no worries. Like, I'm so sorry about this. And here I am. I'm like, I was only waiting here for 5 minutes, but like, go right ahead. Like, take off another $63. So I ended up getting the rental car for only $100 when I was originally going to spend $360 through the original way. And because of that inconvenience, because they didn't take debit cards, and I'm like crying, I'm like, oh, this is awful, like, I'm not gonna get a rental car. It just so happened that now I went and saved over $250 because they didn't accept like debit cards, but the other ones did. So it was like, this is crazy. It was almost like meant to be. Like, they weren't supposed to take my card because I was supposed to go to this other place to get an actual discount, like where they took my card. And then I ended up getting like this huge, massive discount just because like it was a different company. So there's always good that comes with the bad situations, and someone is always looking out for you, because that was just nothing short of a miracle. Like, I saved myself so much money that I actually really needed to save, and I was able to pay bills. So little story. It was really cool. But yeah, anyway.